Hello boys and girls, my name is White Rhino PSO, and today we are playing more Gold Rush. So, in the last video, we took all of the gold we had collected over to the blacksmith and had them smelt it down into bars, which we then sold to the bank for roughly $11,000. Then we used some of that money to buy some new equipment that should make our work over in the hog pan area a little bit faster and a little more convenient. Today we're going to start things off by getting all of it unloaded and set up. Now what do we start with? Alright, let me just hop over to the other side of the truck. So one of the last things we did in the previous video was to sell off the original hog pan we had purchased. Now that one, if you remember, you would have to fill with dirt and then wash that dirt out by pouring buckets of water collected from the creek through it. This new one, let me just pop it in place. This new one has a hookup for a small hose in the back. So that means we can have a constant source of water running through the machine, so all we have to do is keep filling it with dirt while it's running. But for that source of water, we have to get our water pump set up. Let me just get some cords out of the way, and some hoses, and the filter. So this here is the actual water pump itself. This is the gasoline version, which if you remember, we filled with gas way over at the gas station in the last video. There is an electric version, but it is a lot more expensive, and I don't know, I just felt like using the actual gas pump to begin with. There is one inlet for a fat hose and one outlet for a fat hose. So if you have to run water a long distance, you can actually set up several of these pumps along the line to keep the water pressure going. There is also, as you can see, a couple of little outlet hoses for small hoses. I accidentally opened up the gas hole. You don't actually have to flip these open when you're refilling them, which I kind of feel like you should have to, but I don't know. For whatever reason, the developers made it so it just happens automatically. Now, normally, I would set up all of this extra equipment on the other side of the river over there, right by the hog pan itself, but some of it can get a little loud, and I'd rather not annoy some of the few viewers I have, so we're going to set things up right over here. Right, so as the tooltip had said when we were in the warehouse in the last video, the rivers in Alaska are not very clean, at least in this game, so we now have to take our water filter, and as you can see, we can hook it directly onto the water hose itself. And then this one goes into the inlet side, which is on the end over here. Now, this is another one of those things that I think is really neat about this game, is the way that hoses and electrical cords work. So you hook one end in, and now you can see the yellow outline. That will give you a rough estimation as to where your hoses and electrical cords are finally going to lay when you end up either dropping the end or hooking them in. They can actually go quite a distance. So now we take the end with the filter and dump it down into the water itself, and as you can see, now the hose, 37 feet, that does not look like 37 feet to me, but yes, that little kink there I don't think actually matters, but now we have water going into our water pump. I'm not sure what the F stands for, but it's capable of 21 gallons per minute. Oh, maybe that's 328 feet. Yeah, I think it is. Alright, so I think that now I could run another hose through the outlet to a maximum of 328 feet before I would have to put another water pump. But that doesn't matter at the moment, because we're just going to be running a thin hose from one of the outlets. Let's go with this one. and we're going to run it over this way. Now, in the past, I've heard that either running or jumping while you're unwinding hose can drastically cut down the maximum length that they can go, so I never run when I'm holding hose. So just connect to the back there, and now this should all be set up for me to start digging and running the water through the thing here. Before we do, though, I do want to get the rest of it set up. The jerry can stay in the back of the truck. Alright, the wave table. Basically, this thing is an automated version of the gold panning that we were doing at the end of, I want to say, the first video. So you just pour the bucket of finished dirt into the top, and as long as it has power and water, then it automatically runs through all of the dirt and leaves you the gold afterward. So let's put this over on the other side by our new water pump. Actually, let me put it this way. I think that'll be on a flat enough surface. Some of the equipment in this game requires you to put it on a flat surface before it'll actually run. And then let's pop down the generator. The generator kind of works like the water pump, except, I mean, it runs on gasoline, and then it has 2 large electrical outlets and 1 small outlet. And right now, we've only got the wave table that uses electricity, and it uses a small electrical hookup. So we hook that in there, and then it's way over on this side. Alright, so now, if we turned on the generator, then we could actually run the electrical side of the wave table, but we don't have anything to run through it yet. So instead, I'm going to get started on the actual digging. So we turn on the water pump, and as you can see, now there's a constant flow of water. So now we don't have to worry about keeping an eye on how full the hog pan actually is of dirt. In fact, as long as the water is running through the hog pan, it doesn't even show a fill level for how much dirt is actually going through. And once again, it's going to take quite a while to actually get all 4 hog mats back up to 100%. So, oh, I found another gold nugget. You know, another 1.5 ounces straight into the collection. So anyway, I'm going to cut things here, and then I'm going to pick them back up once we have the mats back up to 100%. So I will be right back. Alright, 97%. 98. 99. Is that enough? No, one more shovel. Alright, so once again, we have the hog mats up to 100%. So let's fill the bucket with water and wash out our hog mats. And number 3. And number 4. Alright, then we take our bucket of, I guess, potential gold water, and we can pour it directly into the wave table, even though it is currently off. And as you can see, each bucket full of material loads it up to 50%. So we actually have another run of filling the hog mats up to 100% before I want to get the wave table running, just to show how much gold we'll get out of it. But for reference, if you see 11.969 ounces of gold currently on me, all of that came from just getting gold nuggets from digging out this small hole here that I am currently sliding down into. So, once again, I will be right back as soon as I have these hog mats back up to 100%, and then I'll show you just how good the wavetable is. Alright, as you can see, the hog mats are once again at 100%, so let's get them washed out. That's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And now, this will get our wavetable up to 100% fill. I'm not sure why it brings up, anytime you hit 100% on a thing, it seems to always say, oh, it's already full, you're running out of pay dirt, and I'm not entirely sure why. One other thing though, let me get over the hog pan, is the wavetable needs water to work. So we actually have to disconnect our hose here. And as you can see at the bottom, if you hold down right click, it will wind up whatever hose or cable you're currently holding. So you hold down right click, and it'll let you wind up all of the hose that we are currently holding. A little awkwardly at times. Right, but now we need to run it over here to the other end of the water, the wavetable. Alright, so now there is currently water in there, and there's power. As soon as we turn on the generator here. And now I'm starting off with 21.286 ounces. That's all from getting nuggets while digging out the hog pan area there. So, let's flip on the wavetable and see how much a full 100% worth of pay dirt will give us. We're already up to 22 ounces. Almost to 23, and we've already worked out half of the dirt. It looks like you definitely get more gold just from accepting the nuggets that you find while digging than from actually working the earth, which on the one side is good for people who want to work past the hog pan area and get into the later stages of the game, but on the other side it kind of makes it seem like you're not doing a whole lot of work. Yeah, only 3.3 ounces of gold from working a full 100% of the wavetable here. And we've worked through more than half of our generator's fuel supply. Where'd the hose go? Where is it? There we go. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't get a whole lot of hose out because I was trying to run back to the hog pan. So let's rewind all of the cable, or all of the hose. If you tell it to wind when you're too close to the other end of it, it will actually disconnect it from whatever machine it's attached to and put it back into the roll form that you get it when you first buy it. So this will actually give me a chance to show off. Well, not only you shut it off by hitting the button there, but it will show off how to refuel things. So let me head back to the truck and grab our jerry can. Now, I don't know how well you can see it on the side there. There is a red line to the right of the word diesel that goes all the way from the top of the can down to the bottom. That actually tells you how much gas is currently in the jerry can itself. So if we go over here, and you can see the yellow outline right above the fuel tank of the water pump, connect it up and it will automatically start to fill. And I can do the same with the generator here since we have lost just a little. But now, I don't know how well you can see it. It's actually easier to see when you're partially in shadow. See how the line is now slightly down, like the fill level is just by the letter L in diesel, as opposed to all the way at the top of that line. I always like to keep a jerry can in the truck so that whenever I go into town, I can give it a refill. Alright, so what we're going to do now is actually disconnect the trailer, which I'm kind of surprised it didn't roll all the way down. But there is a little bit of stuff I want to do in town. So let's start up the engine, get us into that beautiful chase cam view, and head back into town. Because there's no reason not to smelt the gold, really. And I have been meaning to pick up some items for eventual repair work. One of the aspects of the game that they added sometime after its initial early access release on Steam was the fact that... Oh, Jesus, kind of slid around that corner. Was the fact that certain parts of certain machines will break over time. And one of those items is the tires of your trailers and your pickup truck itself. Wow, that took a little longer to load than I expected. So what I want to do now is head into town, and we can buy a couple of extra tires and a way to replace them on the truck itself. The way tires get damaged is from going over bumps in the road at a decently high speed. The front tires on your truck... Oh, Jesus, drove right into that. The front tires of your truck will be damaged a lot sooner than the rear tires. In fact, one of the tools you have is number 8, your part analyzer. You can aim this at any part of a machine that is capable of breaking. Like, see, I can aim it at the tire here, and it shows that currently the pickup truck's front wheel is a 90% durability, and that's... Jesus, I'm getting caught on everything. That is just from starting the game and the small amount of driving I've done for the video so far. Meanwhile, the right tire, the back tires are way up at 98%. Now, all of the items that you use to repair your vehicles are actually in this small outdoors area, which, considering some of them are things like batteries, that's a little odd. Now, a lot of the different items have 2 different qualities. Like, for instance, there's the standard pickup truck wheels at $653 a piece. Oh, Jesus. And then there are the reinforced ones, which are almost... math is not my strong suit. 5 times as much? Something like that. Usually, I just buy the low-end stuff, because, as you can see, all the driving I've done and the front tires have only made it to 90%. In my personal saved game, I only ever had one thing break, and it was the tire on a trailer. And I noticed that a lot of the time while driving that particular trailer around, it was sliding around corners and bouncing quite a bit. You know, I'm going to buy a battery as well. Universal battery for almost every mining machine. Next time, don't forget to turn off your lights. I'm going to buy one of these just in case. I don't really need one right now because I never really leave any of my machines off with the lights on. Well, I mean, right now, all we've got is the pickup truck. I'm going to buy a couple of wheels. Did you get a flat tire in the middle of the road? Buy a spare wheel and replace it. Don't forget about a car jack. You're going to need it. I am going to buy a couple of these. I probably should have gone to the blacksmith to tell him to smelt stuff before I came here, but we don't have any... Oh, we do have a trailer, actually. Just imagine a world where no we're never have a flat tire. Until then, when your trailer gets a flat tire, you can buy a spare wheel in our store. A couple of each kind of tire. This is a thing that I didn't realize I needed at first, was an actual car jack. Don't try to lift your pickup truck with your bare hands. A car jack will do it more easily, and it's really, really cheap. Is there anything else I need? I don't think so. Most of this other stuff is for machines that we haven't touched yet, and in fact, that I haven't even touched on my personal save game yet. Now, do we actually have enough money? Total cost 30,000. We barely do. Alright, so 1 battery, 2 wheels for the pickup, 2 for the trailers, and 1 car jack itself. Nothing that I really needed right this second, but it is all stuff that I'm going to need eventually, and that wasn't very nice. I would rather have it on hand than need to jog my way all the way from Old Arnold's Claim to the warehouse just to pick up some tires. Oh, what's going on here? Ah, hell, I'm stuck. Jesus. Come on. Alright, so, like I was mentioning in the past, the physics of this game are a little bit wonky, and I'm actually stuck. I cannot move whatsoever. So, let's try out the reset feature. You click yourself or a machine. Oh, thank God. And you hit restore, and it looks like it dumps you off somewhere nearby. Where am I? Oh, just off of the warehouse itself. I don't think it was this bright when I first got stuck. Oh, that went way too far. Alright, that can close. Alright, there's one of my trailer tires. Where did the other one go? Here we go. And then the 2 truck tires. Alright, let's head off to the blacksmith, because I have 24 ounces of gold and less than $800 after buying all this repair equipment. Now, as far as I know, the tires are kind of universal, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to rotate them on your vehicle at some point. Because like I said, the front ones are at 90% right now, and the rear ones are at 98%. Shit. Alright, so the same thing happened as did last time. I actually don't have enough money to fully smelt all of the gold that I have in pocket. Which, thankfully, I did have enough that after smelting this, I should have enough to smelt all the rest. So, I'm going to smelt this stuff and sell it off, and then pick things back up when we are heading back to the claim itself. Alright, so we are almost back to Old Arnold's Claim, and as you can see, I've sold off all of the gold bars that we got from smelting the gold ore that we collected from using our new hog pan with pump mining system along with the wavetable. So let's turn off the headlights, and nope, not get out. I keep thinking E is to cut the engine, but no, it's X. Let's cut the engine, and let's unload some of the things we bought to eventually repair our machines, or at least the pickup truck and trailers, once they finally break. Now, there is a button you can press to rotate the items you're holding, but for the most part, you can only rotate them around one particular axis. So this is not good when you're trying to be all fancy and lay down some of the items that you have recently bought. And then the trailer wheels themselves. Dump those on the floor right next to it. And then the car jack itself. Oh wait, I forgot about the battery. Alright, let's see how dangerous it is to jump into the back of the truck this time. Alright, the car battery I'll put up on the shelf. Oh, that's right on the edge. Sometimes the perspective can be a little weird too. But yes, the car jack I'm actually going to keep in the truck. You know, I'm going to actually bring one of the tires along all the time, too. Just because I don't want to be caught out in town or out on the claim and have one of the tires blow on me and have to run all the way back. But anyway, before we cut this video, I want to mention that my work schedule in real life has gotten a little tight recently, and that makes recording videos for Gold Rush a little awkward. So for the moment, this is where I'm going to end the series. I will come back to it at some point, but that's not going to be until, like I said, until my schedule at work opens up a little and gives me more free time to put more effort into the game while still cutting out all of the boring bits so that these videos just show off the interesting stuff like setting up equipment or the actual payoff at the end of collecting all of the gold. So, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.